How many times have we done this setup?
I think almost like every round.
So 11 rounds.
Yeah.
Why would we do that?
If they're not being aggressive on your site and you continually run the exact same setup over and over again, you're wasting potential value. Your goal with your utility would just be to slow them down as long as possible so that your team can rotate into a good spot to be able to do that. That would be my focus for you. Your cages, I prefer having one in hand at all times. You can have one for setup, but one in hand, because now you're able to use that for a retake if you need to. And quite often as a Sentinel, we play retake simulators, right? So we need to find some way to get into the site, and that cage allows you to do that.
Yeah, it's something I've actually been doing too, is just trying to use only one when I'm doing setups. It's like after watching this, I noticed like I don't really have a cage, and it kind of screws me over whenever I try to do a retake.
I need to see a new setup every single round. It doesn't have to be a brand new one. I just want to see a different one. I want to see aggressive setups. I want to see defensive setups. I want to see you playing towards A. I want to see like different things. Okay. I want you guys to try to be creative with your setup a little bit. Think about what the functions could be. You guys can literally go into a Valo plant and plan these things out ahead of time and think about it and try it, right? I want to see aggressive cams here. I want to see cams on this spot. I want to see, you know, cams on this spot like we're seeing, right? I want to see something different. I want to see you throwing a cam into this corner so you can hear if people are rotating to B earlier on. Like, that's not a bad play either, right? But too often, we've watched now how many rounds of defense, so let's say it's 8, you've done the exact same setup. You haven't even tried going towards A once. You haven't tried throwing aggressive cams towards any space, right? There's nothing wrong with changing things up a little bit. Okay, so how many times have we done this setup?
I think almost like every defensive round besides one.
So 11 rounds.
Yeah.
Do you want Sentinel players to show you 12 different setups? No, I don't want that. Our student could have gone like this and thrown a camera right here and said, oh, this entire space is open, let me start flanking. And then having control of this entire site just with one movement forward. I want to see diversity, okay? I want to see you, if you're playing, you can actually in theory play this setup, and then the next round play a setup on A, and then the round after that play this setup, then go on A again, then this setup. Like, you could actually do that. I need to see diversity of play. That's what I want to see. You can literally have 2 setups and just have one on A and one on B and just keep running that the entire time if you really want to. But if you do that, there's probably going to be a lot of games that you will lose, because you're not thinking about aggressive setups, right? You're not thinking about being over here. That's the issue.
Yeah.
You're not thinking about putting things deeper. You're not thinking about trying to gain space with your camera, and it kills your progress. So the question you gotta ask yourself is, do I want to be inherently lazy, or do I want to get at least maybe one defensive setup and one aggressive setup on both bomb sites? We can't just sit here and throw the same camera, the same 2 cages, the same wire that goes across down like this, and be like, okay, let me sit back site and hope for the best. Maybe they'll come to my site this round. That's the issue that I'm having. Want to get coached? Join this Discord. We have free and paid coaching options. Can't wait to see you there. Enjoy the video. Whenever you get in this feeling where you're like, things are pretty shitty, I want you to start protocoling in your mind to say, I need to do something here. What are our options if we need to do something? Typically, I'd say we play aggressive. So what are our aggressive options here?
I'd say probably the best option is to push the person in lamps since the smokes are still up.
Yeah, I think that's the best move. You have the smokes up right here covering your aggressive push into it. You have a cage here that allows you to move up into them if you want to, and I think they're falling back because you hit them with the camera. So this is definitely an opportunity right now where I think you just need a full send, get in there, see what happens, try to roll the dice here until we can get some damage done. And this actually is a really good example of why you need to just act in these moments. And if you have that protocol in your mind, more good things will happen than bad things, because it's already a bad thing. Right? We agreed to that at the beginning. So when you wait back here, it allows them to now move around the map. They know where you're going to be. They can start consuming on multiple sides. Imagine, you know, you're playing on defense, you throw that camera there, and you're like, okay, they're going to be going A. You've already started your rotation. You might have even started flanking, kind of like this Clove has already, right? So definitely moving in on that is going to be a very big key here. Crazy that you're getting ones like this. It's actually winnable. Playing against the comp is so key. I hate playing in here though. Now, this is all purely positioning. Yeah, you're Oh my god. Oh no. No. See, here's the problem. You have this happen, you're like, that was good, I'm gonna do that again, right? Instead of seeing where the threat really comes in. Because you got these kills, you're like, yeah, this is a good play.
Do you feel lucky?
Wow, you got so much value in that position when you should have been punished really hard. As Pete's saying, could you use cages on the sides? Yes, you could. It will delay the inevitable. Ultimately, if you're playing as double dive, you need to think about where their strength lies. Their strength lies on the initial push. And then afterwards, what do they have? Not a whole lot. So you can now slam them with your utility on a retake very easily. So chat, when you're losing 0 to 6, where's your mental at? Shoots, where's your mental at?
My mental's pretty low, honestly.
Okay, so here's what I'm gonna challenge all of you guys to do. I want you to reverse mental here. I want you to be like, there's nothing to lose. And now I can like go through and limit test things properly because I'm playing against, first of all, competitions that's challenging me. And then second of all, we're probably already fucked anyway, so why not just try doing something different, right? Yeah, have you ever noticed how when you start beating the other team, they start doing outrageous shit? And then sometimes they come back and end up winning the game because they're doing outrageous shit? Why don't you just do outrageous shit? If it's worked for them and you've got prior history of seeing it, why don't you just do some outrageous shit?
So shit, man. Fuck it.
What could go wrong? I'm already like pretty much guaranteed a loss in this game, statistically. We're down 6 rounds, like holy shit. For us to come back would be a miracle and a half, right? Let's do some outrageous shit. Let's see what happens. Our conventional way of playing and how we've been playing is not working, so let's change it up, right? So for example, in this situation here, let's say we want to move into sight. Here's another thing you can do. You have 2 cages right now. Why don't you just go like this? Be aggressive, throw a cage here, pop them both, run your ass in here and challenge the space. Maybe you can get to this spot and all of a sudden you get a 3K from here, right? Taking out from CT. Now, look back the other way. You guys are like, well, I'm concerned about so many different angles. I don't really want to make a decision or commit to anything right now because we've lost so many rounds and like I don't want to lose another round. I would be like, fuck it. Like, fuck it. We've lost so many rounds. Let's try something. So we stay here, wait, and then we just get freaking like triple collided. This is pretty much in line with how we've been playing the entire game. So change the pace of the game at this point. Switch it up. What do you have to lose? You've already lost, right? That's the mental. And then this is just the same thing. Would you stick 5 people down any entrance? Let's say right here, for example. Would you just stick 5 people running down this entrance? Probably not. So why are we doing it here? Yeah. This is where like you spreading out as a Cypher, because you have global utility, you can move around the map. You can be wherever you want. You can antagonize. You can tell them, can we work a little bit slower this round? I'm just going to lurk over here and try to get some distractions or some attention over here, right? Or you can pull a partner aside. Hey, do you want to work a pick over on this side? Why not try that? Do something completely different. You guys have been doing this kind of style over and over again, and you're kind of like banging your head against the wall, hoping for a different result. It's the same pace every single time. We have to switch up the pace a little bit here. So just, I want you to pay attention in your next VOD review for yourself. When is your dead time or downtime? Your downtime. What's your downtime? If you know what your downtime is, you know that you can be looking here. So if there's 0 threat in front of you by looking here, then you should be looking at that situation. You should know what's going on. I recommend you to change it up a little bit. If they're not being aggressive on your site and you continually run the exact same setup over and over again, you're wasting potential value. As we've been saying this entire VOD, Amon, I need you to listen. We've watched the same setup over and over again. And we've had dead space, this entire space here, dead space, this entire space here. Here's your homework, okay? And this is for all Sentinels, really. You should do this and have a playbook for yourself. If you're gonna be playing Cypher, I want you to think about 2 setups for each bomb site. Minimum, 2 setups. So you already have 1 on B, that's great. Think about an aggressive one. I want you to valor plant that, screenshot it, and send it to me, okay? And save it for yourself. Make a little file, playbook, this is how I like to play it. And you can go and run that setup a few times and practice it, sort of thing. Just make sure you have it down to muscle memory, okay? Minimum 2. You should really have 3, but minimum 2 for each bomb site, each defensive setup, okay? On every map, okay? Cool?
Yeah.
The Sentinel role is so impactful, yet people don't even realize it. They think, okay, the rule is I need to put this setup down and just keep playing it over and over again. When you have so much potential and ability to like take map control, you know, take the game into your own hands, be aggressive on certain angles to get map control or antagonize and keep people in certain places so your team can hit other sides. There's just so much power that is just not unleashed because we're so fixated on the mindset that we have to be throwing a trip this way or we have to be throwing a cage this way. And that's what holds so many Sentinels back.